Any more questions? No, last one. Can the culture in Wolverhampton compare to the culture in Birmingham? It's an open question.
We've got the best pop art gallery in the country, in the best pop art collection in the country in our art gallery. We have some of the top bands playing at the Civic. You know, of course it compares to Birmingham because there's quite a lot of kudos. I mean, you know, the best Morris collection in the country at Whittick Manor. You know, that Birmingham can't say those things. Of course, they've got their own claims to fame, but I feel that we have just as strong a claim in the creative and cultural sector as Birmingham does. Would you agree?
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a claim from the Lonely Planet as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Fifth worst. It's not. Yeah.
Not true.
Not true. Yeah.
Not true.
Plenty worse places.
Oh, of course, we never win anything.
Yeah, true.
We're a bit United though. Football teams do not. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, gentleman in the middle row.
Sorry to put a depressing note on this, but because they're going at the moment, obviously we've lost the UK Film Council. Is there less importance with culture and heritage? With obviously people saying that they can't afford to go out, they can't afford to go and see brilliant plays, can't afford to go to art galleries. Is there less importance of culture and heritage now in Monday times with cuts?
But they can come to our exhibition anytime, so it just doesn't cost anything.
Art gallery is free.
But they mentioned about bands, about theatres. No, an average gig ticket is about £20 and especially with students losing EMA and all that, they won't be able to afford it. So
I know the Grand Theatre do the Grand Theatre do a student standby ticket for a very, very cheap price. I don't know whether the Civic don't run anything similar, but I know that the theatre certainly do run very, very cheap tickets for students. You were going to say, sorry, I cut across you.
I've forgotten what I was going to say now. I was that excited. I was like, all right.
Always helpful.
Well, this summer we've got an outdoor production of a Shakespeare play, and I think the tickets will be something like £10 a head. So really, that's not expensive. If you were to go to, say, another venue to have the same type of performance, it would be a lot more expensive. So we do try and offer value for money, as well as trying to raise money for a charity as well to keep us going.
Also,
there
there's
are
a lot
opportunities there.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of pub gigs and sort of spoken word nights that are absolutely free to get into. You know, I think you've just got to look for stuff that you can afford, and it is out there.
Perhaps there needs to be like a website. I'm not saying I want to do it or anything, but like a website where everybody, there's a communal thing that says Wolverhampton, and we can all, like you could put your events on. Everybody can just go to that one base and upload what they're doing. I don't know if there's anything like that. I mean, the media place, you can set that up.
Could do, yeah.
I think the council does through its tourism office does try and do something like that, but
or get together and put on your own band nights. You've got the talent to do that yourselves. Put on your own shows.
Yeah, if you can find venues that will give you the venue in kind, you can set up stuff yourself and charge minimal amounts just to cover costs. It is possible. I promote a lot of events in Wolverhampton, and we get big audiences, and we keep the prices low. So.
Well, can I just stop there? I got another question from the girl at the black dress.
How do you fund your art and poetry performances, and how do you fund it, basically, if it's all charity based, if that is what it is?
Oh, that was just to me?
Yes.
We cover our costs with ticket prices. With events like that, they're what we call often value-added events. So we will just about cover costs, but not make a huge profit. And a lot of the staff and volunteers give their time freely because they believe in the property. So it's covering costs mainly for us, but the byproduct is people may come for a performance when they wouldn't usually come to the property. So they see how lovely the house is, how lovely the grounds are, and then will bring their family back. So it's almost a loss leader situation, but as long as we cover costs and make a little bit extra, we're doing all right.
Any more questions? No. So, do you think Wolverhampton has its own specific cultural identity compared to other cities such as Birmingham again?
I suppose I should declare that I am officially of mixed race because I'm half Brummie, half Black Country. So having a foot in both camps gives me quite a unique perspective. And also, as I said earlier, I live and worked in Sandwell for quite a long time. So coming to work in Wolverhampton, I found it is quite a different place. It has a strong sense of identity. So I would say that the two places are quite different.
So, how would the funding cuts affect the cultural life in Wolverhampton? Oh, question.
Creative and cultural industry in Wolverhampton is actually growing despite the recession, as it is nationally. And that's obviously been research that's been done by the National Skills Academy and by Skillset and Creative and Cultural Skills, that creative industry is actually growing despite recession, despite funding cuts and things like that.
So on that, do you believe Wolverhampton has enough cultural venues, and did they meet the needs of people who use them and go to visit them?
I think Wolverhampton has some fantastic cultural and creative venues. Yes, places I've mentioned. There's smaller venues like Newhampton Arts Centre and Eagle Works. I can think of another arts based place. I think they might be underused by the people of Wolverhampton and possibly even by the young people of Wolverhampton, and that might mean that those places might need to rethink how they project themselves, maybe the way they price themselves, as the question said earlier. But I certainly think that there's plenty out there to be found within Wolverhampton.
How would you suggest, like for instance, that they would make, like Eagle Works and White Tree, how would they make themselves more known? Like to you, it would be great for you.
To us, well, I know one of our lecturers has a unit at Eagle Works.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So I've been to exhibitions over at Eagle Works, and I just think maybe perhaps if we can invite the artists in, maybe to talk to the students and maybe get them sort of as guest speakers, get the students over there to have a look and a visit, and maybe offering preferential rates to students, the kind of things you're already talking about. So yeah, and it's good if us as a central conduit as the college then is in contact with all you kind of people, then we can offer that out to young people.
Can I just apply a quick lady front row, blue dress?
Yeah, I was wondering what advice you've got for students who are wanting to get in, and anybody really who's wanting to get into the arts and culture scene within Wolverhampton, and maybe asking Belinda in particular, you've set up a project yourself. How was that? What kind of challenges and what kind of support was out there really?
It's not something you think, well, I wanted to be an artist foremost, but everything else that went with it, I had no clue, marketing, website. So we've had a lot of help, but all I can say, if you want to get into creative things, you've got to go to all the exhibitions. That's how you start meeting people. Somebody like I've met you today, I think we can have a little chat. It grows from, it's like when they call it networking, that's your basic thing. You've got to go to everything, even if it's completely rubbish, waste of time. Next week you've got to be out there. You keep showing your face, they'll remember you.
Last question. Go at the back.
How do you live on the wages you get from your jobs? Because as artists and poets, and generally you get a small amount from it, don't you? How do you pay for your lifestyle and living costs?
I'll answer that. To start with, it's hard because I'm freelancing as a performance poet, and a comedian and a writer, and it is hard. So you have to kind of cut your cloth according. But it's not impossible, and I'll sort of diversify, and I'll go out and work in sort of schools and libraries, places like that where I can run workshops and stuff. So it's not just about being creative, it's about encouraging other people to be creative. So I make a little bit of income from that kind of thing, get paid for performances, and you just have to be really out there looking for every opportunity that you can. And the networking point that you made is a brilliant one. You talk to and get to know everybody and anybody that you can within the arts, and don't be afraid to sort of get to know people that aren't of your generation.
I've got to stop everyone at a time. Okay. So thank you for coming. Thank you to my guests, Lynn, Belinda, Emma and Deborah. Thank you to my audience. Tune in next week, same time and earlier at 4 o'clock. Is it 3:30? Half 3 till 4. www.mediacove.blogspot.com. Thank you for tuning in.